And so we are finally in 2019, the year that ended 2018. I guess. Either way, the last year wasn't my most productive one, sadly, hence why I made the resolution of making more stuff through these 365 days. However, that doesn't mean that 2018 was without its positives, so I felt like I wanted to talk a bit about my favorite games of last year. This list is in no particular order, and there is one that I haven't even finished yet, so without further ado, let's talk about religion. God of War was one surprise to be sure. I myself was immediately interested in the game from the get-go. 1. I love the franchise. 2. It is now set in Norse mythology, which is my personal favorite of the bunch. The story is great, the music is fantastic, seriously, the Valkyrie theme is godlike. And the gameplay is a lot of fun. Kratos is exactly where he should be when speaking of character progression, now being a bit older and found a new family, and Atreus is not a stereotypical boy that you have to protect all the time to make you grown. That being said, this game has kind of lost me after some time of reflection. This doesn't take anything away from how good it is objectively, but personally I went from having this to be my game of the year to simply be a great game. Why? Well, I noticed that something was wrong when I started a new game, wanting to replay it. This game is such a walking simulator, and in comparison to all the other God of Wars, I feel like this is the least replayable one. The first playthrough was amazing, and the second one I shut off after just 30 minutes. I probably won't return to this game before the sequel, maybe even way after that future gem, but even with that negative look on it, it is still something I feel every PlayStation 4 owners should buy and play, but you probably won't replay the game a lot. Some people may be able to do so, not caring for all the walking exposition spewed out of the cast constantly being pushed on the player. Again, I love the game when I first played it. Now I can remember it fondly, as something I once played. Though speaking of interactive entertainment that you are supposed to play constantly, Soul Calibur 6. Now this is a good video game. When I play fighters, usually something happens after playing them for too long in one sitting. I get ridiculously frustrated. This happens when I play Injustice 1 and 2, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and another game that I will soon talk about. But Soul Calibur? I feel so confident with its gameplay. Looking past all of the single player stuff, the online feels amazing, the characters are all different from one another, and the character creator, while being criticized by some of the series veterans, I adore. Skelena, my OC, do not steal. My excitement for this game was so big that I made my Siegfried video. Please watch if interested in awesome characters. And in my research for that in the mind of, it got my attention for the world of Soul Calibur. Now, it is not without flaws. The stages are for the most part uninteresting, aside from 3 maybe? There are almost no character interactions, which is something I feel like every fighter these days should have an abundance of. And the music, while being great when listening to these tracks outside of the game, vanishes behind all of the action sounds. Though overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the 6th installment, and I am happy that I chose this as a stream game. What else that I have been streaming for a while is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, yeah. Frustration is getting bigger, truly hits me with full force when playing this online, and not because of the connection issues. Simply put, I have no clue on how to play this game in competitive. My win-loss ratio is also probably the most saddest thing to look at, so why is this on my list? I mean, it is Smash, and not just any Smash Brothers. King K. Rool is finally where you're supposed to be. It is the finest hour for this character. And just because of him, my #1 wish ever since Melee, I cannot step away from this game without being good with the croc. Still, it's not only because of the gameplay mechanics that makes this one the best in the series. Arcade mode is filled with different kind of bosses, Ganon, the Demon King, Dracula, the Prince of Darkness, and Marks. This game just feels like a celebration, and while I'm sad that they've gotten rid of the trophies, I do enjoy the spirit system, even though it feels unbalanced as hell. This game will honestly stay around for a long time considering how well the Switch system is doing, and happier I could not be more. That being said, still want Banjo-Kazooie, that would make me happy. And Midna. It won't happen, probably, but hey, this game exists to make dreams come true, evidence being the Argonian. Though, while on the topic of Nintendo, there is another game on the Switch that got me happy, which came to me as a surprise because I'm not a fan of the sport. Mario Tennis Aces make me feel nostalgic in just the greatest of ways. I used to play Mario Tennis 64 all of the time when I was a young lad, so finally being able to get a new one just makes me giddy. I've made a full review on it, but to quickly summarize, it is like a fighting game. Different moves, a health bar for your racket giving you the opportunity of knocking out your opponents, and a super move, slow motion run, and a special attack with the stamina gauge. I personally prefer to play as the Ghost Boy as his curved shots are out of this world. It is transparent that a lot of thought was put into this lively cast. Without a shadow of a doubt, I swear on my life. Gravely mistaken if you think otherwise. Whatever, I like this game. The story mode is fun, teaching what you need to know about the gameplay, readying you for the online, and my biggest negative that I mentioned in my review, which was the horrendous music that constantly played all the time when playing online, that never changes, has been updated so that there are many different stages and the music is also different. Thank you. Though sadly, it feels like the majority of players have vanished, as it is taking such a long time to find just a single opponent. Maybe it's because Smash is still new, but it is difficult to say. What I can say quite easily is that Deltarune is something that I thought impossible. A good follow-up after Undertale. I'm not going to say much about this because, you know, spoilers. And it is a free game, so I think people should just try it out at least, but what I can mention is that the music is on point, the characters are great, and I'm excited for the future of it. Aside from the short runtime, if you will, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. Can't say anything else, go play it, it's free. However, what is not free, nor short, is Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. I haven't finished this game yet, as I got it quite recently, but the RP in this RPG is quite strong indeed. Never been interested in the pirate setting after the popularity of Pirates of the Caribbean diminished, but the writing here makes me sucked into the world. That being said, the loading time here is horrible. How can there be so much loading? I'm sorry, but every time I go into a new area, I fear the black screen. That being said, still have a lot of stuff to go through to truly be able to talk about it in an interesting way, aside from I like it, but overall, can't wait to get more into it and get more time to play it. And finally, a game that got me so interested in the lore, the world, and the gameplay of something so majestic. A game that finally made me understand the appeal of something that I thought was uninteresting. A game that had the same effect on me as when I played the Dragon Age games, believing that the Mass Effect ones were just the same thing in space, only to try out the sci-fi adventure, making me like that series even more than the fancy one. I want to applaud Fallout 76, because I indeed have played Fallout 3 and 4, but I've always preferred the Elder Scrolls series. But the day 76 came out, I finally realized what I've been missing. As through the controversy, through the horrible business practices, and all of the content YouTubers have been pouring out on the game, I started doing some research on the franchise of the post-apocalyptic world, which led me to try out a certain game, Fallout 2. Thank you, Fallout 76, for making me try out Fallout 2. A good Fallout game. I now understand the annoyance fans have with Bethesda. I now understand why people have screaming out that Fallout 3 and 4 are not even comparable to the two first ones. Now, I love the explorative nature of the two games, but as RPGs, ugh. However, this old game that I've now been playing for so long, it treats the player as an adult, maturely written stories, a world that you can interact with in so many ways. You can become a porn star. How great is that? Still not finished it, but man, I miss Black Isle. So yeah, that's my favorite games that I've been playing in 2018. I will work really hard from now on to give you quality content. I'm sorry for the fact that this video might not seem to, you know, be quality. At least to the point of what I would like it to be, but really busy here. So just wanted to make this little thing so that I could start on my next in mind of. Until then, I'm KingJ.Grim, or the guy who is curious about your list of your favorite games of 2018, what it looks like. Write it down below, whatever you prefer, and I'll see you guys next time.